The cold wind sweeps across the blood-stained fields of Gaul, carrying with it the cries of the fallen. Amid the smoke of burning villages and the clash of iron, one man stands unshaken. His eyes, sharp as the glint of a sword, survey the horizon, not for enemies, but for destiny itself. Gaius Julius Caesar, conqueror, strategist, and master of Rome's fragile heart, knows that greatness is never granted. It is seized, often at a price no mortal can foresee. Every step he takes echoes through the alleys of power and the corridors of the Senate. Each decision a thread in the tapestry of history. And yet, even amidst triumph, shadows of betrayal gather, silent, patient, waiting. You're watching Ancient Historian's Voyage, where forgotten empires and untold stories rise from the ashes of time. Long before the roar of battlefields and the echo of the Senate's marble halls, Gaius Julius Caesar was a boy of Rome, a city alive with whispers of ambition, corruption, and the restless hunger for power. Born in 100 BCE into a patrician family whose fortunes were waning, young Caesar was surrounded by grandeur and decay alike, learning early that in Rome, blood and cunning often mattered more than virtue. He watched the streets, where beggars and senators alike struggled for survival, and listened to the stories of great generals who carved empires from the dust of foreign lands. The seed of ambition was planted, nurtured by a city that both inspired and threatened him. By his 20s, Caesar had begun navigating Rome's treacherous waters of politics. Marriage alliances, speeches in the forum, and daring acts of loyalty and cunning marked his ascent. Each move was calculated, a step toward a destiny that few could imagine, yet all would soon witness. It was not just oratory that marked him, but audacity. Caesar's choice to champion the cause of the people, to confront corruption, and to take bold, often risky actions earned him both allies and enemies. In a city where the line between friend and foe was razor thin, every smile could hide a dagger. And yet, Rome was only the beginning. Beyond the city's marble gates lay Gaul, a land of fierce tribes and untamed forests, waiting for a conqueror who would dare to carve his name into history. Caesar, with a mind sharpened by politics and courage tested by the city's storms, prepared to step onto the stage where destiny would demand blood, glory, and sacrifice. Here, amidst the untamed lands of Gaul, Julius Caesar would become more than a man. He would become a force that could shape the fate of an empire. Gaul, a land of endless forests, roaring rivers, and tribes that knew neither fear nor mercy, awaited a conqueror. And Caesar, armed not only with legions, but with a mind that measured every step, every threat, every opportunity, strode into the unknown. The Gallic Wars had begun, and with them, the legend of a man who could bend history to his will. Every battle was more than a clash of steel. It was a test of intellect and courage. At the siege of Alesia, when the walls of the fortress seemed impregnable and the Gallic tribes united under Vercingetorix, many would have despaired. But Caesar, with lines of fortifications stretching as far as the eye could see, turned desperation into opportunity. His soldiers, inspired by a leader who shared both their danger and their ambition, fought with a precision that would echo through the ages. Night fell over the camp, yet Caesar's mind never rested. Maps sprawled before him, scouts whispering reports of enemy movements, fires casting flickering shadows over his face. Every decision could mean victory or annihilation. Every choice carried the weight of Rome itself. Victory after victory carved his name into the hearts of men and the annals of Rome. Tribes surrendered, Alliances shifted, and tales of Caesar's cunning spread across the continent like wildfire. Yet for every triumph, there was a shadow of danger. A single misstep could turn applause into assassination. Rome, ever wary of a rising power, watched from afar. It was in Gaul that Caesar became more than a man. He became an idea, the embodiment of ambition and intellect fused with the unyielding force of a conqueror. But even as he celebrated victories, whispers traveled faster than armies. Some in Rome feared his growing influence, his connection with the people, his charm over the legions. Loyalty, after all, was a currency more fragile than gold. And so, as Gaul burned beneath the fires of conquest, the stage was set for an even greater drama, a return to Rome, where the true battle awaited: politics, betrayal, and the fragile heart of a republic teetering on the edge of collapse. All had fallen, its tribes subdued, its rivers died with the cost of conquest. But Rome, the city that crowned the republic, waited, not with applause, but with suspicion, envy, and fear. For Caesar, triumphant general, the path forward was clear, and yet it led through a storm no man could escape. "A die is cast," he whispered, a phrase that would echo through history, sealing fate not just for himself, but for the republic he both loved and challenged. One step forward would be treason. One step backward, and he would surrender the destiny he had forged with fire, blood, and unyielding ambition. And so he crossed, with every footfall into Roman soil. The die fell harder, the republic trembling beneath the weight of a single man's ambition. Senators recoiled, allies faltered, and whispers of rebellion turned to the clang of swords. Rome, a city of marble and wall, now faced the inexorable march of a man who would not bow. The streets of Rome, once echoing with the voices of debate and ceremony, now prepared for the roar of civil war. Pompey, once ally, now adversary, marshaled forces to defend the republic. Friendships shattered, alliances fractured, and the air grew thick with the scent of betrayal and steel. Every decision was a gamble, every step into the city a declaration of defiance. And yet, Caesar moved with the precision of a man who had studied history as carefully as he had studied his enemies. This was no mere invasion. It was the opening act of a drama that would consume Rome itself. The die had been cast. Rome would never be the same. And in the heart of this storm stood Caesar, triumphant, determined, yet aware that the cost of greatness is measured not in victories, but in the souls that rise and fall under its shadow. Rome, the eternal city, welcomed its conqueror not with fear, but with awe. Triumphal processions wound through streets lined with marble and flame-lit arches. Caesar rode in a chariot of gold, crowned with laurels, the cheers of the people echoing like thunder through the forum. Yet beneath the roar of victory, the whispers of envy and conspiracy stirred like shadows in the corners of the Senate. For Caesar, triumph was more than spectacle, it was a statement. The Republic's foundations trembled under the weight of his ambition. Laws were rewritten, debts relieved, grain distributed, and loyalty commanded not just through fear, but through adoration. The people loved him, the legions obeyed him, but the Senate, once his arena of influence, now seethed with unease. Et tu, Brute? A question unspoken, yet foreshadowed by every glance, every secret meeting, every hand clasped in betrayal. Allies turned wary, senators plotted in shadows, their eyes fixed on the man who had become both hero and threat. Caesar, aware of the storm gathering in whispers and corridors, walked a fine line between power and peril. And yet, Caesar's vision for Rome was grand, almost divine in ambition. He reformed the calendar, initiated building projects, extended citizenship to distant lands, and imagined an empire bound not by fear alone, but by order, structure, and the promise of greatness. History would remember him as a genius, but even genius courts enemies in the shadows. Power, after all, is a double-edged sword. With every reform, every proclamation, every victory, Caesar's light grew, and with it, the envy and hatred that would bring his life to a violent crescendo. In Rome, the stage was set. The Senate's marble halls, once temples of law, were now the theater for betrayal, where loyalty was fleeting and ambition lethal. And so, as he savored the heights of triumph, the seeds of tragedy quietly took root. For in Rome, no crown, no chariot, no legion could shield a man from the knives that friendship, fear, and envy would one day bring. March 15th, 44 BCE, the Ides of March. A day that would echo through history, not with the triumph of a conqueror, but with the cries of betrayal. The Senate, bathed in morning light, seemed serene, innocent. Yet beneath its marble arches, fate waited like a coiled serpent. Caesar entered as he had countless times before, confident, commanding, the weight of destiny in every step. Yet even the most vigilant general cannot always see the blades that hide behind the smiles of those he trusted most. Et tu, Brute, the words, whether spoken or felt in the heart, captured the ultimate betrayal. A son of Rome, a friend, a confidant, turned conspirator in the shadow of ambition. Around him, knives flashed, gleaming in the morning light. Senators struck not only at the body of a man, but at the idea he had become, the embodiment of power, of change, of Rome itself. The air filled with chaos, shouts echoing through the chamber. Caesar, who had conquered Gaul, tamed legions, and commanded the hearts of millions, fell not to armies, but to treachery. Each blow was a punctuation in the story of a republic collapsing under the weight of fear, jealousy, and ambition. And yet, even in death, Caesar's presence was undeniable. The lifeless body on the Senate floor became a symbol of both warning and legend. A man who dared to shape destiny and paid the ultimate price. Rome itself shuddered, teetering between chaos and transformation. The Republic's fragile heart pierced as surely as the body of its greatest son. In that moment, power and mortality intertwined. A city revered him, feared him, and condemned him, all within the span of a heartbeat. And the story of Julius Caesar, the man, the general, the dictator, became forever inseparable from the myth that would endure through the ages. The Ides of March left Rome trembling. Caesar was gone, yet his shadow lingered over the city like a storm cloud refusing to pass. Senators fled or plotted anew, and the Republic, fragile, fractured, and bleeding, struggled to survive. Yet history would not forget him, for Julius Caesar, though mortal, had carved his name into the eternal stone of time. Legacies are measured not only by triumphs, but by the echoes left behind. His reforms endured, his victories remembered, and his life became a cautionary tale, a mirror reflecting both the glory and danger of ambition. Caesar had dared to reshape the world, and in doing so, reminded humanity that power is both a gift and a curse. And so, under the blood-red dawn of Rome, his name was carved not only in marble, but in the silence that followed. A man who conquered nations, commanded loyalty, and defied fate itself, leaving behind a world forever changed. In the end, history does not remember the blade that fell. It remembers the man who dared to hold the world in his hands. If this tale of ambition and fate has stirred your soul, remember, countless more echoes of history await. Subscribe to Ancient Historian's Voyage and journey deeper into the forgotten ages, where empires rise, heroes fall, and the threads of destiny are woven with blood and courage.